Welcome to the Git series. In this video, we are going to learn what is a Git Stash and how you can stash the local changes when you are switching from one branch to another branch without losing them or without committing them to the local repository or a remote. And basically, the stash concept is coming to the picture. And let's understand the stash first. What is meant by stash and where it is useful. Let's say you are working on the multiple branches. Assume I have three branches: master, feature 1, and feature 2. At the moment I'm working on this particular feature 2, and I made some changes on this local copy of this branch. So I have created some files, or I modified some files. So I'm still in the process of modifying. I didn't complete the modifications which I wanted to do on that. But in meanwhile, if I wanted to switch to this particular feature branch 1, so I'm moving out from this branch to another branch, but I made some changes here. When you made some changes which are not committed, and you are trying to move out from the branch to another branch, Git will ask you either you commit, otherwise you will lose these changes. It will tell you that. And you really don't want to commit them at the moment, because since you are still in the process and you want to do a lot of changes on top of what you made so far. In that scenario, instead of losing them when you are switching, you can do a stash them. You can actually stash them. And when you stash them, like let's assume this is our stash, and you made some changes here, you updated some file. Before switching, you will just create a stash. Like let's say stash is nothing but like kind of a stack. It follows the stack. Like this is how what you can do. You can actually stash your changes. So you are putting your changes in the working copy into a stash. Okay, assume this is my stash and I am putting my changes at this location, and you can have n number of stashes. You can stash a specific file, or you can stash all of the modifications that you have done, or you can stash the untracked files as well. All of those things can be stashed. So I stash them into a stash. Let me write it as a stash. Okay, and this stash follows from 0. The index of the stash is a 0, and it will keep going like 0 1 2 3, like that it will go. Okay, and once you stash them, and so all your files that you have made changes are there in the stash, and you are free to switch from here to here, and you can make some changes here, and you can work on this particular feature branch 1. And again, after making some changes, if you want to switch from feature 1 to a master branch or somewhere else, again what you can do, you can stash your changes again to this. Okay, but you need to carefully understand, when you are stashing this first, the feature branch 2 is at 0th index, and again when you are doing the second stash, like you are stashing the feature 1 files, basically how it follows the stack. So which means the latest will be on top. So this 0, whatever the stash that you have here, will move from this location to this location, and the changes on the feature branch will come to top. So in this way all the stacks can be listed, and at any time if you want to delete the stash, you can delete, or you can bring the stash into any of the branch, and you can work from there, you can continue. And once you stash them, let me say like this, and if you want to work on this particular stash in branch 1 or a branch 2, feature branch 1 or feature branch 2, you can bring them always. You can bring them to your feature branch and you can work. They are how you can bring. You need to apply the stash into the branch. Okay, here actually you are stashing them, and you are able to apply back to your feature branch at any time, and you can continue working from there. That is the use of a stash. But this is really useful feature, like when you are working with the multiple branches, when you are working on something like it is not necessary that you have to complete and only then you can go for some other task. When you are in between, if some priority task came in and you definitely need to switch over and you have to fix that scenario, this stash will help. Now let's understand what are the different things we are going to cover in this video. How to create a stash and create a stash with untracked files, because Git will always know like the tracked files. And so how you can create a stash with an untracked files, because they are not even added to the stage. And then how you can see or list all the stashes that already created, and how to view the stash, like what changes you made on the file and what happened. And then what is the difference between an apply and a pop. Sorry, this is a git stash apply and git stash pop. This makes more sense now. Git stash apply versus a git stash pop. And what is meant by as apply and pop? Here in this diagram, you are applying the stash changes into the feature branch, to any branch. You are bringing the stash to your feature. That is apply. If you do a pop, you are applying these changes into your branch in the working copy, and at the same time you are deleting the stash from the stash, this specific stash from the stash. So this version will be deleted, it will not be available. If you just apply, you are applying the changes into your branch and that specific stash is exist, that will be there. This will not be deleted if you apply. If you do a pop, your changes are coming to the feature branch and this particular stash is going to delete. And there is a one more thing that you can do with the stash. You can create a new branch with this particular stash, so that whatever is there on that, you would be able to get on the new branch also. So you can apply them to the existing branches, or you can create a new branch taking the stash changes. Now let's go to the implementation part. And as we have it actually, we need to have multiple branches, at least two branches to perform this. Let me check the status of the git. Okay, I am on my feature branch. Let me show you how many branches I have. As you know, this git branch -- list is going to show all the branches I have. See, there is a feature and a master branch. I am on the feature branch. Now let's make some modification. Since this particular feature branch, there is nothing to commit and there is no modified files. Let me show you. These are the files I have. Now I am going to modify some files, some file, which is like, let's say f_file1.txt. This is modified for stash. Escape : write quit exclamatory. Yep. Okay, now we have updated this particular file, and if you verify the git status, you would be seeing something is modified. Now I wanted to switch to a master, and before switching to a master, I'm going to create a stash for this. The command to create a git stash is git stash. This will create a stash with the file which modified. If you simply use a git stash, this is going to apply a head version by default. Otherwise, you can give some meaningful name to understand or to fetch when you come back to your the expected branch where you are going to merge. You can give some message, or you can save it with some proper name. How you can save? Git stash save. This is a feature branch stash, feature underscore at stash. Okay, I will show you in the other stash when I am doing an untracked files. I will not give the name, and I will show you the difference. What would be the default name of the stash? So I am going to stash this modified f_file1.txt. See, now the stash is created. If you want to view, if you want to see that the stash is created or not, you can use git stash list. And see, there is a stash created. As we have seen in this image, the index it started with a 0 stash at the rate 0. This is on the feature branch. Now let me create an untracked files, which means like let me create some new file here, f underscore file 3.txt. Touch f underscore file 3.txt. Okay, I just created a file. Okay, this is a new file. This is not staged, this is an untracked file, you can see. But if you simply use the above command, that what we have to save or to stash that tracked files, that will not work. Why? Because you need to use git stash -u for untracked files. Let me run this and see, we have created a stash. But if you look at a git stash list, see, now whatever the stash that we created on recently, that's the latest stash, sorry, here, that is at the 0th position now. See, so whenever you are creating a stash, it will come on top of the existing ones, so it will always be on top. See, stash at 0th index is the latest one that follows this head version. Whatever the number you are seeing on the head, that is being defaulted number. Before that, you have given a name for the stash, that is a feature underscore stash. So it's always better you can give your name, so that you will understand it after some time. Okay, this is what the my stash, and I'm going to get this. If you are not using the name, and you may get confused after some time, so it's a better practice that you can give a name. And now there is an other command that you can use to create a stash, that is git stash push. Instead of a save, you can use this. You can give some message, you can provide stash message. Yeah, you can run this command, and even you would be able to create a stash like this. And one more thing, even you can stash a specific file. You have made so many changes on the multiple files, and you don't want all of them. You want to have only one specific file to be stashed, and you want to keep those changes on that particular file. So even you can do that. Instead of directly stashing everything, after this command at the end, you can define your file name, that is f underscore file 3.txt. If you apply like this, only this particular file will be stashed, so there is nothing else will be stashed. Okay, let us go back and see what are the topics we covered: creating a stash, and how to create an untracked files, and list all stashes. It's a command. Let me write the commands here so that you will clearly understand what are the commands we run here. Git stash or git stash save name, git stash push. You can give some text. This is how you can create a stash. This follows the head version, and this follows this particular name, and even these two commands does the same, almost similar. Now git stash with untracked files, git stash -u, and this will stash all the untracked files. Otherwise you can specify a file name to stash. List all the stashes, git stash, a list will show you all the stashes that you created. Let me give some space here. Okay, this is the create stash, and create stash with untracked files, list all stashes. And now we are going to view the stash, view a specific stash, what changes we made. And after some time, once you come back to the branch and you're about to apply your stash into your local, and you don't know what you made at the time when you are moving out from the branch, and you want to view that before you apply, how you can view. Now we have two stashes, and let's try to understand what is there in this particular stash at 0. What is the command for that is a git stash show, and then give a space stash at the rate, what is that, at the rate 0. Okay, okay, because there is no change we made over there, and this is an untracked file. Let me show you this with the first index. See, this is the change that we made. This is a stashed, but you are not seeing what text that you actually updated on this file, but it is just showing you this particular file is updated. There is something is updated on this, and there is an insertion. Now if you want to see what changes you made when you created this particular stash, so command is almost similar, and you are just going to put -p just before the stash index. Run this. See, this is giving you more details than the previous command. This command just tells you what change happened, what file changed, and this command git stash show -p is telling you this is the text that you updated, this is modified for stash. So that's what we updated on the file, and you can see once you confirm, okay, this is my stash and this is what I'm going to apply on my particular branch, and you're always free to apply. Let me switch to a master and then come back. Git checkout master. See, now I switch to a master, but still my stashes are there. Verify the stash, git stash a list. See, you have the stashes, and even you can apply the stash on any branch, even on the master also you can apply. Now let me come back to my feature branch. Git checkout hyphen, this will take me to the previous, that is my feature branch. Okay, now I am on my feature branch, and you can see here this is my feature branch. Let me clear this. Okay, we are on the feature branch, git stash list. These are the two stashes that we have. Now I am going to show you apply. I'm going to apply the git stash at the rate 1 on my feature branch. Git stash apply stash at the rate 1. Before we run this, let us check the git status. See, there is nothing, everything is clean. Now I'm going to apply the stash, and then you should be able to see the changes in the stash will be in your working copy. See, so far once you put everything on the stash and you switch to a master branch, some other branch, and again you came back, and now you are verifying the git status, there is nothing in this particular branch is clean. The stash changes that you are not seeing, whatever you stashed, everything is here. Now you are going to apply the stash. Git stash apply stash at the rate 1. See, that stash is applied on your branch, and if you verify the git status, see, this file is modified. So you brought your stashed changes into the specific branch. Okay, hope you understand this apply. We brought all the changes that you stashed at that specific index is brought into your working copy, but still we just applied, we use a git stash apply, and changes are merged, but it should not delete the stash on the stashes. Git stash list. See, you are still seeing two stashes are available at 0 and 1. It didn't delete that. Whereas if you apply a git stash pop, that will delete the stash right after it brought the changes into the branch, it will delete that. Let us see. The same command. Let me use pop here. Please commit your changes or stash them before you merge. See, it is asking you either because you are bringing something into this, either it is asking your local changes to the following files would be overridden by merge when you are merging the stash changes, since the same file that whatever there in the stash, again we are trying to override. That's why it is showing. What? Let's do one thing. Let's stash this again. Git stash. I just stashed. Let's see the git status. This particular branch is clean. Now I am going to run the pop command. And this time our stash, it should be 2 because it went 0 1 2. We made the third stash. See, that particular file is updated. This time if you verify, see, still you have 2 stashes, but the stash that what we were seeing earlier, here let me show you, this is not there because we just applied this stash, we just popped this stash into the branch and this got deleted. See, you observed, right? Earlier there are 2 stashes, and for this, at the time of this particular error message thrown about the merge, we made a third stash. Before you run this, there are 3 stashes, and now you are seeing only 2. The stash that we popped from the stash to the local branch is deleted because we didn't run the we didn't see the git stash list here. That's why I'm explaining, because before I run this particular pop, there are 3 stashes because I made one more stash here. And the next one, we understand the difference between git stash apply and git stash pop. Okay, and now I'm going to show you. Okay, this is view git stash, and how you can see git stash show stash at the rate, you can give the index. On git stash apply and git stash pop, git stash apply stash at the rate index, this will apply changes into working copy, but this will not delete the stash. And deletes the stash. Okay, hope you are clear with this git stash apply and stash pop. This is a pop. Now let us see how to delete the stash. Now we have 2 stashes here. Let me clear this. Git stash list, we have 2 stashes. Now I am going to drop a stash. Drop is used to delete a specific stash. You want to clear all the stashes, you are going to use a clear. There are 2 commands, git stash drop and git stash clear. Drop will help you to delete a specific stash. Clear will delete everything. Now let's delete by using it. Let's drop a specific stash. Git stash drop stash at the rate. Now I am going to delete 1. And see, that particular stash is deleted. Again, you can verify list of the stashes. Sorry. Okay, now there is only 1 stash. Earlier there are 2. Now only 1. Now I'm going to run a git stash clear. Okay, otherwise let's create a one more stash. And so you have it, two stashes now, and I'm going to clear all of them with just one command, that is clear. Git stash clear. And so everything is deleted and should not show any stashes. If you run the list, see, all your stashes are deleted, so there is nothing exist. Hope you understand the concept of a git stash and how to create a stash and how you can stash the untracked files, and how to apply stashes back to your branch, and how you can do a pop of a specific stash, and how you can see the changes, how you can view what is there on the specific stash using the show command, and how to drop a specific stash and clear all the stashes. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment in the comment section. Thanks for watching the video.